What's up guys, Travis here with Lucky Tackle Box. I'm always getting comments from you guys saying, Travis, we don't have a boat. Can't you do some how-to videos fishing from the shore? So today, we're doing just that. I'm unhooking the old LTV bass boat here, jumping in the old crusty moho, and we're gonna be cruising around doing some fishing from the shore, and I'll be breaking down some of my favorite techniques. When it comes to fishing from the shore, you can't carry as much tackle, right? You can't carry a bunch of rods, can't carry a bunch of lures, so you need a lure that is very versatile. Today we're using Big Bite Bait's Battle Bug. This is a creature style bait that rigged a couple different ways. You're gonna be able to fish a lot of the situations you're gonna run into. So hopefully today you see a couple techniques that'll work at your local water to help you catch some big old bass. Okay, first let's talk about the pure beauty of this bait. It's all legs. First you got these nice little flappers that are actually thicker at the end. What that's gonna do is, as this bait sinks down to the bottom or you hop it off the bottom, those legs are gonna kick, drawing in strikes. Then you've got these tentacles that are gonna twirl, give it a real natural look to it. Then throw in 2 more legs up the body right there. Bravo, Big Bite Baits. Well done, really liking this little thing. Makes a very versatile little bait. So I've essentially got 2 different setups I'm gonna use. The first one's gonna be a Texas rig. That's gonna be for fan casting and really fishing a majority of the stuff I'm gonna see right now. The second rig is a drop shot. That's gonna be for fishing a lot of this vertical structure like these pilings around the docks or any kind of seawalls. Also, if I wanna keep that bait up off the bottom for whatever reason, if there's a sooty bottom or there's some grass on the bottom, I wanna keep that bait above there, the drop shot is perfect for that. Okay, for the Texas rig, it's real simple. I use a bullet weight, anywhere from a 3/16 to a 3/8 ounce lead or tungsten. I'm using a 3/8 ounce tungsten today so I can have a little bit more sensitivity. And then I tie that with a Palomar knot to a 4/0 EWG worm hook. That extra wide gap is on that hook is gonna give me more penetration. It's gonna get more hook through that thick plastic, so I'm gonna get more secure hook sets. Now in the drop shot setup, it's pretty much the same as well. I tie a Palomar knot to that same 4/0 EWG hook, and then on the tag end, I leave about 6 to 8 inches, and then put on about a 3/16 ounce drop shot weight. Now for the gear, starting with the rods, I'm using hybrid sticks, a bait caster and a spinning rod. And so for the bait caster, that's on the Texas rig. I've got a 7-foot medium rod here. It's gonna allow me to really fish the versatile situations out here. And then I've got 12-pound fluorocarbon. You can use anywhere from a 10, you can go all the way up to 20 if you really want to, depending on the water clarity. Then for my drop shot setup, I'm using a spinning rod, but I'm not going with a traditional real limber finesse rod. I'm using the hybrid stick, so I've got a little bit more rod because this is a little bit bigger bait that I'm gonna be throwing around, so I wanna be able to control that a little bit more. And then I've got 8-pound fluorocarbon on that. Both these setups are extremely versatile baits. Now with the Texas rig, I would say it's a lot easier for me to feel out the bottom, really explore the area, look for any kind of cover structure down there that's other guys that you can't see. You know, right now I can see the pilings, I can see the different rocks and stuff like that, but as I'm working this bait down low, I'm just kind of dragging it every once in a while, hopping it off the bottom, and if I feel it come through some kind of wood or over rocks and stuff, I can line that spot up and keep making more casts and kind of slow down my retrieve right in that area because that's going to be a higher percentage area. But there really is no bad way to throw this. You just kind of experiment. Do they want it hopping or do they want it just dragging along the bottom? And once you figure out what the cadence is and where these fish are, if they're up shallow or if they're out deeper, then you kind of narrow in on that spot. But the reason I like this setup is because it's always given action. No matter if you're just dragging it, there's still some action coming, or if you're hopping it, all these legs and stuff, doing stuff to entice fish. Really a great way to make casts out deep, but then even be able to flip these little pilings and things like that to see where these fish are. Now this drop shot setup, I really like because of how much action I can get out of it without actually moving it very far. Because if this bait sits on the bottom, if I just tighten up the line, that bait comes up. So as I'm just shaking that line, I can technically get this, or I can theoretically get this bait to be jumping around, hopping around without actually moving it along the bottom. So that's why it's perfect for fishing around these pilings and seawalls and stuff, because I'll put it right up in there, let that sink all the way to the bottom, and now, once it hits the bottom, I can just shake it. And that bait's staying right up against that seawall. little drop shot, working down this little shade line. We got a little seawall, kinds of little pilings and stuff. Was able to just work this thing really, really slow. He bit. I didn't realize I had a fish on there. Nice little shore bass right there. Leo, what do you think, bro? What do you think? But then once you realize how to work these baits, the advantages on each one of these different setups, then it comes down to where you throw this, location. So when you look behind me, you got a lot of open water, okay? It's some targets, you can see rocks on the bank, tuies on the bank, so there's gotta be some cool stuff out in the water that you can't see. So that's where I like throwing this Texas rig. I can fan cast out and I can feel out the bottom, look for those high percentage areas. When you feel some structure, when you get bit, line up, figure out where you just did. Make sure you remember that, because then you want to repeat that. A lot of times there'll be an area where there's more fish. These fish like to congregate in high percentage areas. You find a good area that especially that people can't see, that might be your little secret area. Now, with the drop shot, I like pitching towards vertical cover, like that pilings, any kind of seawalls, things like that I can move real slowly. I know that that's a high percentage area. I can see that that's structure. There's gonna be fish around there. If I move it nice and slow, I can pick up fish that other people aren't. Some other things is, when you're looking for locations, fishing from the shore, it gets discouraging. You're limited, right? You can't just buzz around the entire lake. You're only limited to the access you have. Well, a lot of times, man-made structure is the best structure that attracts fish. Now, that's good news for you, because a lot of times when there's man-made structure, there is access for man. So launch ramps, marinas, those things tend to attract a lot of bass, because there's so much cover for the bait fish, for all the different things that are going to live. These bass are going to feed on and hide in. That's supplied by marinas, these launch ramps. Another thing that launch ramps do is, I call it the selfie effect. Fishermen go all throughout the lake, go catch fish, and they bring them back to the launch ramp to take pictures at the end of the day, and then they release them right here at the launch ramp, giving you a nice, refreshing batch of bass coming in, the biggest bass in the lake coming in and getting dropped off at the launch ramps, so you can have a better chance of catching. It's always getting restocked and replenished. So don't get discouraged that you see a lot of guys on the bank fishing and you think that it's fished out. There's always more fish being replenished in that area, so there's always a chance to catch a personal best right from the launch ramp. One of the big keys when it comes to being out shore fishing is having the confidence in what you're doing and understanding that where the high percentage areas are. It's so easy to get caught up watching boats go by and being like, man, if only I had a boat, I'd go over there, over there. When you are fishing from the shore, you can turn that into an advantage. You don't have to be distracted by all these different places. You've got to learn that area. And having a bait rigged up in a drop shot or a Texas rig, you can really fish these spots thoroughly and really learn your areas even more too. I'm always preaching that. You really want to feel out the bottom, and after half a dozen trips, you'll really know where those sweet spots are in that stretch. Even though tons of anglers go by, you know those exact places to check every time you go. And then by using a very versatile creature bait like the Big Bite Baits Battle Bug. Big Bite Baits Battle Bug. Holy moly, that's a mouthful of bees. Having a creature bait like that, you can have the confidence that you know that you're getting the action you need down there to trigger those strikes. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed me hoofing around on the shore. There's nothing like catching some fish from the shore. You really got to earn it. Sometimes I get used to being on the boat too much, and it's always nice getting back on the shore and catching some fish. So if you like this video, throw a thumbs up and comment what kind of shore videos you'd like to see, if any more. And for the next video, I'll be back out on the boat, on the water though. Anyway, till next time, catch you out on the water.